I'm standing next to a 1971 green sparkle John Bonham drum kit. I worked with John Bonham in 1977 and 1979. I had the pleasure of going in the studio as well, and these drums were used on many sessions. The bass drum size is 14 by 26. The rack tom is 10 by 14. The floor tom is 16 by 16 and 16 by 18. He always used a metal Ludwig Superphonic 402 snare drum. Always metal, never chrome over brass. And he used a ching ring. He used a Ludwig Speed King pedal. John Bonham always played Paiste cymbals. And he started off with giant beat Paiste cymbals, and then he went to the 2002 cymbals. And he always used the Sound Edge 15-inch hi-hats. He always used the 18 medium crash. He always used a 24-inch ride, and he always used a 20-inch medium crash, sometimes an 18 medium crash as well over here. He used a Ludwig cowbell made by Paiste, and a ching ring similar to the one we have here set up on the hi-hats. The gong, though this is not the size he used, was always a Paiste gong, symphonic, 38-inch. John Bonham always used Remo coated Emperor heads on all his drums, all the wood drums, and the stainless steel drum kit as well. On the bass drum, it was always an Emperor coated on the batter side and a medium weight head on the resonance side, using felt strips on the batter side and the resonance side as well to help focus the sound. On the rack tom was always an Emperor coated on the batter side, Ambassador coated on the bottom side. And that's the same for the floor toms. It was always an Emperor coated on the batter side, Ambassador coated on the bottom side of the drum. Snare drum was always an Emperor coated on the batter side, sometimes a Diplomat on the snare side, but most of the time an Ambassador. The tuning of these drums was like the tuning of a lot of large drums in the big band era and swing era, in that the bass drum, for example, the batter side and the resonance side was pitched up a lot higher than one would think. And the reason for that was you're moving a lot of air, and the impact of the beater ball on that head, you want that air to move quickly to get a round, full sound. That was the secret of his great sound, is the fact that these heads were tuned up a lot higher on the bottom than they were on the batter side. And that gave that whole total sound of the drum upon impact from a stick or a beater ball from the pedal. So on the rack tom, the actual pitch of the bottom head was, for a large drum like that, was pitched way up like you would hear a snare drum being tuned. And so hence that's the way the rest of the drums would go. The snare drum tuning was also a real important part of John Bonham's sound. He understood the dynamics between the snare side and the batter side, in that he pitched the snare side way up, and he never choked the snares. He loosened the snares just enough so you'd get the sensitivity of the snares, but you'd also get the wholeness of the drum from top to bottom. The batter head, Emperor coated, like I said before, was always pitched way up, but never so far as to lose some of the dynamics between the batter and the snare side.